fuck up.
Hello, guys, and welcome to Pink Sock Podcast. I am Mike Usnick, and this is Pink Monarch. Today, sometime here soon, we're gonna be joined by Aaron Nordstrom of Gemini Syndrome and Woyote. But until then, let's just chat, Pink. Let's hang out. It's been a while. You've been in the hospital
Yeah, I have. I'm going back.
for flu
So,
lungs.
yeah. So right now I smoked weed, so I'm shaky, everyone. But I I have so much pain, and it's since they did a procedure on me, but they called today and said that it's swelling from having so much liquid in my lungs
Oh shit!
that it's irritated, and the only solution is for me to go back to the hospital and get a chest tube put in.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Well, that should help.
So it should help because it'll drain it out
What causes that?
completely.
Fluid on the lungs, like your body just saying "fuck you," let's
Um,
just do this.
It's probably they're not sure. They're treating me for an infection and hoping that clears it up. But it's probably my kidney function
I didn't know
because
kidneys and
yeah.
lungs went hand in hand. I didn't realize that.
Uh the thing is when my kidneys don't work as well as they should, like my creatinine is 600 right now, which is unreasonably high because it's supposed to be 60.
Oh shit, that is really high. What
Yeah.
the human body?
So sorry.
The human body's weird. Like it does shit to itself.
Yeah. But yeah, so my feet swell. I get cankles,
Ooh,
and my calves, like it's called pitting, but you can push on it with your thumb and it'll leave a thumbprint
oh, like on your skin.
in my like muscle
Oh shit.
or fat or whatever. Um, it's really gross. So yeah, so they did all that and they're like, yeah, you're retaining fluid, and it's because my kidneys aren't working.
Damn, the human body, bro.
Yeah.
Like I've got I think we all got health issues one way or another by the time we hit 30. Like just depending on who gets it worse than others. Like I have a fatty liver, supposedly.
Yeah.
So I just try to eat healthier.
Mm-hmm.
I do my best. But like you're a strong woman and that your kidney, right, is what you need.
Yeah, I need a kidney.
You'll get one. I would lend you one, but I need one right now.
Fair.
How do you like the sexy gold microphone?
I like it.
Right,
I was actually just looking at it.
Katie got it for me.
Aw.
Well, she didn't get it for me. It was a hand me down,
Okay.
and it is excellent. And also, I got another thing. It was kind of a hand me down. You're gonna laugh at this, Pink. This. It is a lock box.
Okay.
I'm the good ex-boyfriend. So my ex broke up with her boyfriend and gave me this. It was a gift for him
Oh.
that became mine. It has a rolling tray in it. It has a small
Mm-hmm.
container. It has a grinder. Fucking
That's
incredible.
cool.
I like it. And then I bought this Guar. Shout out to Guar if they still even sell it. Guar has their own CBD strain line.
Mm.
It's pretty good actually. I liked it. I don't know if they still have it or not. I was gonna buy more, but I don't know if they have more or not. Right now, I put already vape bud in this, as we call it, AVB in the cannabis industry. I would also like to give a shout out to my homegirl Rebecca.
Becky. Becca.
I don't know what she prefers to be called. I call her either one. But
Yeah.
she is amazing, and she's actually working on her own little radio thing over there. So shout out to her.
Nice.
And that doesn't mean I don't support other stations. I mean, WTHC is amazing. We've got
Oh, is
Dab
it
Radio.
Becca from WTHC?
I think she's just going off and doing her own thing.
I just wasn't sure if it was the same person that we
Yeah,
were talking about.
yeah. She called me up and we had a nice conversation about how she's starting her own thing, and I'm proud of her. I'm proud of everyone. Like, I don't know. I don't view anyone
Mm-hmm.
as like competition. I don't view anybody negatively or anything like that. I know some people in life do, but I wish everyone well. Because sometimes
Yep.
like, I've got friends that are into like comedy like I am, and we don't really do shows all the time together. I'm usually off on my own doing it. Don't mean they're competition. It just means we're not meant
Yeah.
to be around each other all the time. I don't think humans are meant to be like stuck together. I don't know. What do you think?
Um,
Like even
I think it's
relationships.
really rare.
Like even
Like,
relationships. That's why there's so many relationship problems, because we as a being are technically designed to be poly.
yeah,
I'm
I
not
could see
saying
that.
I'm not saying it wouldn't work for me, because the last time I disappointed more than one person in a room, I was doing stand-up comedy in front of my parents. Like I couldn't be poly. Um Now I was somewhat in a poly relationship. I don't know why. I'm just weird with other dudes in the relationship, but I'm cool with other women.
Okay.
And I think it's more of a we can like I'm not into dudes. Like we can kind of share in a way or have fun together in a three group. I can't do that when
Mm-hmm.
there's another dude involved,
Yeah.
kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just fucking I don't know. By the way, this is my brain. It never stops
You
working.
want a unicorn.
Yeah, kind of. I'm not. I don't know. I'm weird. I had a girl one time. They're like, "That's not poly." I'm like, "It kind of is. If you guys have the agreement together that it's only women that are allowed within the relationship." But I mean, if you want to, that's the thing I don't get. Dudes get all really upset and they flip out and shit whenever like their woman wants to leave them for somebody or whatever. When the fact is as long as they're honest about not wanting you anymore, fuck it, let them be happy. If you actually love
Mhm.
that person, you'd want them to be happy with or without you.
Yeah.
Selfishness and ego aside,
Mhm.
am I saying that I've never been that guy where I was upset and shit? And no, I have been. It's okay to be upset, but you can't beg somebody to stay or know your
No, because then it's like the relationship, is tainted.
yeah, like know your worth. I'm friends with my ex. It took forever to get there, but I'm friends
Hmm.
with her. There's another ex that I'm not friends with, but I'm not going there because it's just my side of the story, and I'm not putting it out there.
Yeah.
She's put her side out there and it's all bad, but whatever. Like
Mhm.
I'm an open book. I don't really give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't care. I wonder if Aaron thought we meant like his time zone because
Oh,
he lives in California, which was about for his
3 hours
time.
behind.
Yeah, it was about 3 hours ago. Whatever. I'll get a hold of him. I'm sorry, guys. Aaron's not here yet. He might be running late. We might just have had a misunderstanding on the time. But we're still here and we're still going to chat.
Still here and we're still queer.
See, that's the thing with live is like, I don't mind if people show up late. I don't mind if people aren't able to show up because that's just life. That's just fucking, it happens.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Please comment, fucking comment. Like,
Talk to us.
talk to us. Talk to me. Tell me your name. Just light it off like it's all the same. I like your hair and your like aesthetic. You look amazing, Pink.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Most of it's
I
because
have
you're
on a dress today
that's awesome.
that's kind of pulled down, apparently.
I would tell you
Um,
to show off the dress, but you just smoke. You might not be able to.
oops. Yeah, I can't stand up right now.
What?
And I'm also wearing like jogging pants underneath.
I'm very happy.
So,
He actually or she actually changed the name to Mike's baby boy, not Mike's
yeah,
baby daddy. Because
I just saw it.
see, I love all the support I get, and I appreciate each and every one of you for showing that support. If you want merchandise, we got merchandise. There's a Pink Sock Podcast shirt available. It has the logo on the front, my website on the back. It has all that fun shit. Or you can get my stand-up comedy shirts. I have one that says I can rock, but I can't roll. And it has like a pot leaf and the devil horns. I also have a shirt that says if you don't use Nick, you'll lose Nick. There's two shirts
Mm.
for my comedy available, and I'm actually currently working on a T-shirt that goes along with one of my jokes I tell. I'm just waiting until I do more shows and tell it more, so that people have a reason to buy it. Because the shirt kind of gives away one of my punchlines. But it's a good. It's if you saw my reel, you would already know. The shirt's going to say "Kink Shame Dahmer," and it's going to
Mhm.
have my website. Pink Sock Sex Toys. I would love to actually. I would have it be just me. Like you hit the button instead of vibrating, it's just me telling off the wall ADHD thoughts. Like I have a little touch of autism. I do. Like I'm like on the spectrum. I don't know how far I am, but I'm on there.
Yeah, me too.
Cause like I hyper fixate on shit. And then I lose interest after a while, but there's a few things that I don't. Like I've never lost interest in comedy. I've never lost interest in music. Pro wrestling's been here or there. Um,
Yeah.
Whether or not I like men in spandex, I'm not sure. It just depends. It just depends on the day of the week. You know what I mean? Is that a
Oh,
frog
geez.
hoodie?
It's a teddy bear hoodie, but it's green.
So it's like a teddy frog.
Yeah.
So if you had to choose, and I
Yeah.
saw this on TikTok, we mentioned it already, but I'd like to ask you, if you had to choose between a bear and a random man in the woods, who would you pick?
A bear.
Me too.
Do you want to know why, Bill?
Why?
Because if you survive a bear attack, you're a badass,
Yes.
and people will recognize that. If you survive a rape, people call you a liar.
Yes. I actually had a joke I was going to tell at my show that I did recently. One of my
Mhm.
shows, Rick Lay's show, and I happened to be there. I don't know why I worded it like that. But anyway, at the show I was at, I was performing and I was going to tell this, but I wasn't sure if it was a good joke to tell. So I'm going to tell it here instead.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right.
Mm.
Women had to choose between a man and a bear, and men went crazy when they found out that the woman picked the bear. Well, most of
Yeah.
them. However, with me, I would pick the bear too, because you know why?
Why?
I'm not sexually attracted to men.
Fair.
What if I'm the person that is spawned? We don't know who you are, so we're still picking the bear. Well, I would ask you if it was me, would you pick me or the bear? But we're the same thing.
Yeah, you're pretty airy.
Like, well, the thing is, women and gay men have something in common now. They both pick a bear
Oh,
because I don't know if you know, but the slang term for like
I do.
a husky gay man is bear.
Yeah, has to have hair.
A lot of hair.
Yeah,
What kind of bear would you choose though? In the woods, would you pick a black
a
bear?
black bear.
Is black bear the one where you
They're the
have to?
smallest.
Are they the ones that you have to like act tough around instead of run away from?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, you walk at them like that and they'll run away.
black bears are the ones that like if you try to run, they'll chase you down. The brown bears are the ones that if you slowly walk away, they leave you alone.
Okay.
Okay, one of them I know you don't run from. I wouldn't run from either because they could both catch me.
Yeah, that's the thing with me. Like, I'm not a fast runner, so I would try to hit it with my cane.
I'm not making fun of the fact you have a cane. I'm about to laugh at the
Go,
fact
go
because
ahead.
I'm imagining you for some reason in a pimp coat beating the fuck out of a bear with a cane.
Right?
Just like fuck you, bitch. Like
That's
because
people who've known me for a while, they'll see me with the cane and then go, "What's that for?" Or even at the hospital, I get asked, "Why do you have a cane?" And I said, "Because I am a pimp now."
so you have the cane as like a like have you needed the cane for a while or do you just have it for like a fashion statement?
I've needed it since about 2020.
But you also have it for a fashion statement, don't lie. If you
I
did
do. I have a couple canes. I have a pink one, and then I've got a blue checker one.
I'm gonna start getting canes just to have them.
They're okay. People treat you a lot better when you have a cane.
I'm not gonna act handicap, but I'm gonna like walk around with like a pimp cane.
I'm not gonna act handicapped.
No, like I'm not gonna make fun of them. That's not my thing. Like
Fair.
I'm not gonna like
It's
take
still really
parking.
funny
I'm
though.
not taking their parking spots. I just want a cane to like be pimping.
Yeah,
See, pink cane
they're
stick.
fun.
If I get a pink cane though, it'd look like a never mind. It would look. My mom has a cane or had a cane. I think it was actually my dad's. It it looked like a golf. It was like a golf head, like the golf stick
Okay.
thing, like the flat part that hits the ball. It was that
Mm-hmm.
for like the
The
handle.
club.
Yeah, the club. I couldn't think of the name of it.
Yeah, I could tell.
So, guys, I'm not sure if Aaron is coming or not, but I'm still going to give him a shout out. Woyote is amazing. They have a new album out right now. Go check it out. It is called Mother of the Universe. It's got 10 songs in it. It's about 38 minutes long. An amazing album. You need to check him out, Pink. And also,
I
Gemini
will.
Syndrome is an incredible group. They actually have like 3 new songs out already. I don't know when the album's coming out,
Hmm,
but they're working on one as far as I know.
nice. And
Um,
what's the
huh?
man's name?
Aaron
Aaron
Nordstrom.
Aaron Nordstrom.
Yes, Aaron Nordstrom of
Gemini Syndrome.
and
Woyote.
you're paying attention. All right, good.
It's like, oh no, I don't know if I'm gonna get this right.
So, do you think I should get a custom made pink sock cane and pimp jacket?
Yes.
That would be fucking killer.
The handle of the cane should be a pink sock.
Right?
Yeah.
Can we talk about something that's kind of it's driving me nuts. I want to get it off my mind. How is it legal for credit card companies to have like interest rates that they have?
Right.
Like 20 fucking 2% or whatever. You'll pay them $30,000 on like a $10,000 debt and they'll claim you still owe 10,000 and by the time you pay that debt off, you paid like half
Hmm.
a million dollars. How is that fucking legal?
I don't know.
I actually had to go through a debt management team to pay off my credit card because I can't do it with the interest.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. Like it's their fault, in my opinion. They gave me the credit card. Like, like, you
You're
lended me.
reminding me that I need to check the balance on mine.
Mine's when before I got the debt management thing, it was like 12,000 or whatever,
Yeah.
and it was only 10,000. They added an extra 2,000 for some reason as we're paying.
Oh,
I'm like, you fucking cack suckers. You cack suckers. Can you say it with me?
Cacksuckers.
Cacksuckers. I'm gonna see if Adam wants to join us. Adam Grak's amazing. He has a show, Ghouls Gone Wild. Shout out to them. I'm just gonna do shout outs.
Oh, I remember you talking about that.
Yes, he has a special guest. He's currently working on. Getting a guest, and it's gonna be in his own fucking home,
Oh, wow.
like in his home.
Mm-hmm.
Adam's hot. Yes, he is. He looks kind of like Dwayne the Rock Johnson if Dwayne the Rock Johnson was Filipino and Australian.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Garak. Do you smell what the Garak is cooking? What kind of plant is that behind you? You growing weed?
What one is that? That is an aloe. And then on that side, I have a banana leaf croton, a ZZ plant, a snake plant,
You said
and
a
a
banana.
jade.
Said a banana scrotum.
Banana leaf croton.
What is up, Jessica Man Richmond? Thank you guys for joining us. Aaron is not with us as originally planned. He might join later on. If not, I will post when the rescheduling episode is. But we're still going live. We're still hanging out. We're still having fun. We're having a ball. We're talking
Heck
about
yes.
banana scrotums. Is that what that plant was called?
Banana scrotum. Yeah.
Was that the name of it?
Banana leaf banana leaf croton.
That's very close.
Yeah, it
Scrotum.
is.
Very close.
It
Oh,
was asking for it.
my whole guar sticker came off of my damn vape or my
Aw.
dryer. So, Pink,
Mm-hmm.
what is going on in the world of Pink besides hospitalization?
I've been on Bumble BFF
What is that?
trying to find friends.
That's depressing.
Yeah, but it's worked. I met a girl and went out and played board games.
Oh, nice.
And then now she is my current piano teacher / we watch The Last Airbender together.
So, do you want to try a little trick here since
If
we
she's
might-
watching, hi B.
Hey, what's up, B? And Aaron, if you're watching, get your ass on here. Yeah. And Jack, you too, motherfuckers. I bought this. Should I try it on the air?
No, I'm excited. What is it?
It is 50 milligrams THC, 10 milligrams CBD, and 10 milligrams CBG. It is RSO capsules.
Oh. Yeah, do it.
All right.
It'll get crazy.
Things will get fucking fun. Either that or
Yeah.
I'm going to pass out and you're going to be talking. I don't normally do this. I don't normally get medicated like this before I go on. But this medicine is actually one that I'm going to review. $5
Yeah.
if you down that bottle. $5 if you leave me the fuck alone. I ain't doing that, bro.
Yeah.
I love you. I love your support. But I'll do that.
So,
I got an idea.
okay.
How about this? Our Blue Waffle podcast you're wanting?
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
What about OnlyFans?
Put it on OnlyFans.
Oh, okay.
It's
That
like
works.
it's like a behind the scenes kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can't take this because I don't have water. So do me a favor, Pink.
Okay. Yes.
Tell me your thoughts on extraterrestrials. Do you think they're real or do you think they're fake?
Oh, geez.
And have you seen them?
I think they're real,
All right. Now,
and I have seen one.
all right. Tell us the story.
Okay. So there was one night where I woke up at around 3 a.m. and my cat was staring out the window, like very interested in something. And I noticed that there was like it was bright outside.
Yeah.
So then I looked outside and there was 6 white lights in a row. And then they just were like hovering there. And then all of a sudden they went into the sky instead of across.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like it went and it got smaller and then it was gone. But it was like, it was weird. And so I wrote down what I saw and went back to bed. And then when I woke up, I remembered writing something. So I checked it and it was like, oh, fuck, it was real. Like, I wasn't dreaming, like, and so I don't know. I
I've
don't know what it was.
I don't think I've ever had an alien encounter. However, I've had a couple ghost encounters.
Mm,
I do believe in life. Like I don't know if I believe in a religion, but
yeah.
I believe in life after death. I believe that like our soul goes somewhere. So quick story as to why I believe in life after
Mhm.
death and ghosts and stuff. My grandmother, she died on September 11th, 2000, and I believe 7 or 8.
Okay.
Um, she died in the September 11th, so it has a whole new meaning to me. I don't know anybody who died in the towers, but I know my uh,
Yeah.
grandma died, and I agree with you, Jessica, because scientifically we are made up of energy. Energy doesn't isn't created or destroyed, correct? Therefore, something happens after we die. So, quick story. Believe me or not, but this is legit. This happened. It could have been
Mhm.
weird situations or whatever, but here's the backstory. My grandmother, before she passed, she was living with us. Here's where her room was. We had a computer sitting here in like the kitchen because we didn't
Yeah.
have room, but she would leave her bedroom and I'd always be on the computer. Just I was always like a guy that loved to learn and do research and shit. Not what school was teaching me, but I was on the computer. So I was probably
Yeah.
on MySpace at the time. I don't know. But I was doing something at the time. And
Yeah.
my grandma left the bedroom and it was a nightly occurrence. She would leave the bedroom, she would rub my hand, like be like nice and gentle, and then play with my hair because I love having my hair played with. And she'd be
Yeah.
like, "Hey honey, it's time for you to go to bed." So I'd get up after about 5 minutes because she'd go to the bathroom. And by
Mhm.
the time I got up, she would have left the bathroom and sat in her chair. She had a rocking chair and she'd be watching
Yeah.
TV. Well, after she had passed, I don't know if it was the night of her passing or the next night, but I was on the computer all depressed because she was like my second mom.
Mhm.
She, I felt this cold wind. Now it was summer. There's no reason there would have been wind. I felt a wind go up my hand and brush my hair. And I'm like, that's weird, but whatever. So I'm sitting there on the computer. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to bed. My dog at the time left the bathroom area with his tail in between his legs, walked up to the chair, got scared, and ran away.
Mhm.
And I'm like, good night, Grandma. I'm going to bed. I love you, but you scare the fuck out of me. And
Yeah.
it's never happened since. But I couldn't explain it any other way than it was more than likely a ghost.
Yeah.
And I believe in that shit. I also believe in extraterrestrials. Because I believe in other life forms because
Mhm.
we're on this planet, right?
Yeah.
There are millions and billions of other planets out there somewhere, like
Mhm.
tons of them. To think we're the only life form ever, aliens, is fucking stupid and it's selfish, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is selfish. It's very naive.
You want to hear my theory?
But
Each solar system has planets. All of the planets in our solar system, as far as we know, have no life on them. My belief is that we're the reason. we went to these planets in different forms, one form or another of humanoids, and we destroyed that planet by getting way too advanced in technology, and we got wiped out and we moved to the next planet, and now Earth is the last habitable one left.
But why wouldn't the people have memories about it and pass that along?
That's millions and millions and millions of years, dear.
Yeah.
What if God was an alien? Explain this. The pyramids, and this is legit. The
Hmm.
pyramids, they found that there was electricity in the fucking pyramids thousands of years ago. They had the similar
Really?
technology we have now, and
Wow.
we had to re-get it. What if aliens wiped them out and created us? Or what if they were aliens and went elsewhere? Because the human beings have the DNA of various types of animals. We have lizard DNA. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
And also, we're aliens to other life forms. I also have another good question.
What?
If if extraterrestrials, aliens, came to Earth, right, and landed in the United States, would that make them an illegal alien?
Probably.
It would.
Yeah.
Why do we even use the term illegal alien?
It's dehumanizing.
Well, not that. Aliens, I think, might be might be like just as human as we are, possibly.
Yeah. I'm saying using that term
Yeah, it's
is dehumanizing.
yeah. That's kind of like they use the term insurgents when they talk about war.
Hmm.
Like the
Or
military killed insurgents.
people who are in like a wheelchair, sorry, or people who are paralyzed. They call them invalids
So,
sometimes,
as you
and
all
I don't
know,
like that.
a lot of you guys listen to the show. You either are friends with me or whatever. And I don't care who you support or whatever. I hate all political parties. I hate them all. But I find it so beautiful that Trump was found guilty on all 34 charges.
Mm, you just had to get that out, eh?
I just find it beautiful. I find it beautiful.
That's fair.
And
That's
I'm not
no. I hope he goes to jail. Like,
like I'm not I don't support the guy really, and I never have. I do not like him, but I also don't like the other guy. But
fair.
it's sad and sickening that he got arrested, well, got charged for the whole the shit in New York, lying and all that, but he didn't get in trouble for all those times he assaulted them women.
Yeah, it's because he has money.
Um, true. I like Trump when he was in WWE. Did you know that he was in WWE, bro?
Really?
Yeah, here's what's weird. Convicted felons can run the country but can't work at Burger King. Now, Trump can't vote now that he's a convicted felon, but he can run for president.
Mm, that's fucking stupid.
Joe Exotic announced he's running for president from
Oh
prison.
my god.
WWE does kind of suck now, but I've actually been watching WWE lately a little bit, and Triple H is doing a good job over there. So got to give him props. Let's talk music. What are
Okay.
some bands that you are currently into that you recommend?
Hmm. Karuk.
Karuk.
Yeah, Corook. If anyone's on TikTok here, she is the girl that did the fish song. But she has like a lot of other songs that she does that she really reminds me of Billie Eilish.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and she does a cover of Stacy's Mom.
So I just spoke. I'm not trying to interrupt you. I just spoke to Aaron. He is showing up. He's just running late. He was doing vocal classes.
Okay.
He teaches vocal lessons. So,
Yeah.
guys, Aaron will be here soon. Actually, I do believe he said at 9:28. So he'll be here in about a half an hour.
Okay.
I do believe is what he said. Half an hour, like we were originally scheduled. Okay, it must be different time zone.
Mm,
He said like we were originally scheduled. It must be like an hour difference.
yeah.
But it's all right. Continue your story. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. But yeah, she does a cover of Stacy's Mom that Fountains of Wayne
That's a good.
originally did.
It's a good song.
Yeah, it is a good song. Um, and yeah, I saw her live in Toronto in September, and it was fucking fantastic. Like, and everyone was really accommodating because, again, I walk with a cane. So they let me end up sitting on the stage. And, like, I just got to sit there while this girl played.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, it was really fun. Um, I got a lot of video and stuff like that of it, and I don't
My
know. It
my
was awesome.
Michael said Hailstorm. I do enjoy some Hailstorm. If you enjoy Hailstorm, go check out New Year's Day. They're really good.
Okay.
Ever listen to Thoriaca?
No.
Friend of mine's band. Go check them out. They're really good. They're a hard rock band based in, I believe, Ohio.
Okay.
I think they might be saying Pittsburgh because they are a little close
Mm.
to Pittsburgh. He might be in West Virginia. I don't fucking know where he's at, but I know he lives somewhat nearby to me.
Yeah.
So that's that. Let's see the chat. Yep, Triple H is bringing back the Attitude Era shit kind of slowly. What do you think of wrestling? Do you enjoy watching Men in Tights or no?
I don't mind watching it, like, for uh the story purposes.
Stories
Like,
are fun.
yeah, sometimes they're really funny. Um, but on music, I have to also say the Violent Femmes
Nice.
has been a huge thing for me lately. I just opened up my Spotify and I was like,
Right.
"Oh, yeah, obviously." And They Might Be Giants.
Oh, I love that band. Them and Presidents of the United States of America.
Mhm.
Okay, why did
Ca-
I
Callie
didn't
Hall.
I'm sorry, I just got a question from the chat and I got
Oh,
sidetracked.
okay.
Why did Stone Cold have leg braces? Because his knees were so shot at the time and his back. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Mm. Oh, no, that's okay. Um, yeah, like, I don't know. And then like my chill playlist is pretty good where it's got like Tom's Diner on it.
Ever
Um,
ever listen to Wednesday 13? I think you'd like him. He's like a horror punk metal artist.
oh, that sounds fun.
There's a local band named Only Flesh. Holy shit. They
Oh my flesh.
I've had him on the show, he is the singer of the band. He actually crucified himself on stage like twice, like
Oh,
nails through the hand while singing. And they also hang from meat hooks while performing. It is wild. Um, I,
wow.
I've never got to see them live, but I do know that he's the first musician to crucify himself on stage. Now that shit is fucking brutal. Like, let me tell you,
uh,
fucking brutality, darling. Like, this shit is nuts. I want to see him.
like mental health problems.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think he's like really into
Mm,
bondage.
yeah, but putting nails through your hand?
Yeah, that's bondage. Like,
I
that's real.
guess I've done rope classes, but we don't put nails in people's hands.
Oh, I mean, that's the really brutal side of the internet.
Yeah.
I find it weird, like some of the shit we used to find on the internet on YouTube. Remember before YouTube had guidelines?
Mm-hmm.
Like that shit was wild. Like people eating poo out of cups and shit. That shit
Yeah.
fucking gross. Hardcore brutal BDSM. I thought BDSM stood for something completely different. I, like, didn't you?
Um, I don't know exactly what it means.
Oh, I thought it stood for bacon.
Bacon, donuts, soda, and
Bacon,
macaroni.
donuts, soda, mayonnaise. That's the American diet.
Mayonnaise.
That's the American diet. Bacon, donuts, soda, and mayonnaise. That's the.
That's what you guys call it. It's soda, isn't it?
It depends on what part of the United States you're in, soda or pop. It depends.
Oh, okay. We call it pop here.
I call it by whatever the name is on the fucking can or bottle.
There.
That's a Coca-Cola. That's
Mm-hmm.
not a Coca-Cola. That's a Sprite. That's a, I don't know.
But like if I was at someone's house or whatever
How
and I needed some kind of sugar, I'd say, "Do you have a pop?" Like, uh,
I'm sorry, but I don't know if I'm going to take how to like what to call pop advice from somebody who says house. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. A boot.
house. I don't know.
I'm just kind of bitter because you guys have like the best pro wrestlers but not the best bands. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I used to have a pro wrestler's phone number.
Was it Bret?
Yeah.
Lucky. Do you still have Bret Hart's number?
No, I
Call him.
lost it.
Just fucking call him like right now.
Yeah.
It's fucking.
When I heard the answering machine, it was like it's like, oh my god, I know who that is. That's crazy.
Oh, you didn't know it was his number?
Well, okay, so this guy that I used to take care of in a group home,
Uh-huh.
um, he would tell people he was like trained by Bret Hart and his family, and he would go on about it and like had it was very delusional. And so we're like, sure, okay. And then like one day when I was taking care of him, he wanted to call Brett. And so I was like, okay. And he pulls this phone number out of his pocket and he starts typing it and whatever. And then he's talking to someone. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, who's he talking to? So I saved the phone number by looking at like recent calls because it was like one of those old Bell phones. Like, um, it was weird. But yeah, you could like look at the past calls. So I found it and I wrote it down and I called it from my apartment and it was fucking Bret Hart's voice and he's like, "Hey, this is Bret. You didn't reach me because I'm either in Italy or whatever,
He
like
must
Los
have said
Angeles."
really a lot if that's in his voicemail.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh my God. So I hung up. And then I told everyone after, I'm like, it's actually Bret Hart's phone number. Like, what in the fuck? And
So what
they
year was
just
this?
left it. That would have been about 2006.
So your friend was being trained by him, but that was after he had to retire due to his concussion.
Yeah.
That's weird because I didn't think Brett was still training people because he had a real bad concussion. He couldn't take bumps or nothing, but it's
Well,
possible.
this kid had been in our care for a while, so it would
True.
have been like in the early 2000s, I guess, that he knew him.
Bret Hart is the GOAT. However, I will argue all day that his brother Owen was better, just never got to get to that level. He never got
Mm,
lucky enough to get to that level. I think he was a better worker and a better talker than Bret.
yeah,
Owen Hart, if it wasn't for that fall,
yeah.
like Bret Hart was
I
taking
like
somebody.
Andre the Giant.
Andre was great, but we never got to see him at his potential because Andre the Giant was like, by the time he made it to WWF, he could barely move because
Yeah,
his mobility.
that that fight with Hulk Hogan
Oh yeah, that was
fucked him
legendary.
up.
Well, that was one of his last matches.
Yeah, like
He
it probably killed him.
no, he
Like,
wrestled after that, but that was one of his last like major matches. He went to
yeah.
Japan. He went to Japan, and when he entered the ring, he had crutches because
Oh
he could
wow.
barely walk, and he was mostly in tag team matches towards the end
Oh
because
okay.
he had very limited mobility.
Hmm.
So did you hear I quit smoking?
I didn't know you smoked.
Yeah, I quit smoking. I'm
Oh
vaping now. Yeah.
well, congratulations. It's really hard to do.
That reminds me of well, it's smoking cannabis. I vape now.
Oh, I thought you meant that you smoke cigarettes.
No, never. I couldn't.
Yeah.
The smell is fucking horrible.
Yeah, it is. And like the fact that it sticks on you after the
Yeah.
smell and it's on your fingers.
Like
No. I smoked for 4 months
I'm not gonna
and
say people
then,
that smoke are disgusting, but the habit of smoking is disgusting.
yeah,
You smoked for only 4 months?
yeah. And I was just doing it out of stress. And then all of a sudden, my mom bit her tongue. And then she bit her tongue again. And she bit her tongue. And it was like, what in the fuck is going on? So then I talked to my doctor in Canada. Like, my mom lives in the States. And I was like, this is what's going on. Her tongue's like sticking out of her fucking mouth. She had a lump on the side of her face that appeared one day, and she kept trying to hide it from me. But yeah, so my doctor is like, "Is there white on her tongue?" And I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "It's probably cancer."
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I told my mom, "You need to get to a fucking specialist like now." So she went back to her doctor who was treating her for thrush, and turns out she had stage 4A mouth cancer.
Damn.
And they booked a surgery. I went down and stayed with her for a month, and it took them over 24 hours to do the surgery. And they took her entire tongue, 9 centimeters of her jaw, one of her jugular veins,
Jeez.
and part of her face.
God damn.
Yeah. And it was fucked up, dude. Like, the second I found out that she had cancer, I was like, okay. Like when my doctor told me, like, I was like, I can't do this anymore because, like, this is my sign. Like, you got cancer in your family now.
Yeah,
Like,
don't risk it.
yeah, and it's not worth it.
So
It's not
my buddy Marcus is in
fun.
the chat, and I'm not trying to interrupt your story. I just saw
Yeah.
him in the chat. He has his own company he's releasing now. It's Wheeling
Hmm.
Nudes. They sell ramen noodles. So if you're ever in the
Oh,
Wheeling, West Virginia area, go check it out.
nice.
Yeah, I love giving shout outs because I love my friends. I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
He said the cigarettes make him feel sexy, and then after your story, he's like, "Well, I don't feel sexy anymore." He just see, I don't smoke
That's
cigarettes.
funny.
I luckily never have, but my dad, he used to chew and rub and all that, and he got
Uh,
throat cancer. He got
Yeah.
stage 4, I believe, but he kind of got lucky because he didn't end up needing the feeding tube or none of that shit.
My mom has a feeding tube
Oh,
and a trach
damn.
now. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
But she can now make noises.
That's
So I can understand what she's saying when she says like, and it's like, oh, that's so ridiculous. Yes, you're right. Like, and she'll be like, oh, and then like continue on, and it's like, and then I'm like looking at her, and I'm like, you're gonna have to write that one down.
it's like having your own little Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah. Yeah, she's adorable like him too. Like he is adorable.
He is for like he's pretty adorable for someone that's like had a life.
70.
Yeah. That's like 70-year-old former drug addict.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's pretty adorable. I don't think the stutter for him is caused due to drugs. I heard that it was due to him being like stage shy and camera fright or whatever you call it.
Oh, I thought he has Parkinson's too.
He does now, but like the stutter was more so not. And look who's joined us. We have Aaron Nordstrom. We're talking about Ozzy Stutter. How are you? How are you doing, brother?
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, what a time to be alive. We actually are in an era. We were lucky enough to survive in the same era as Ozzy Osbourne.
We sure did, witnessing it firsthand.
Right, isn't that wild? Did you guys ever get to play with Oz?
No, I never played with Ozzy.
Oh fuck, because I know you've done a few festivals. I believe I saw you guys maybe at Rock on the Range.
Yeah, that was one of our first ones. That was way back in the day.
Yeah, that was fucking wild.
I think Ozfest was my first festival that I ever went to. I went to a bunch of when I was a kid.
Damn, I love Oz. I saw him. God bless him. I saw him perform. What now is one of his last tours. He came out, and I love the dude because he was trying to introduce his band, and he got on a roll, and he's like, "Oh, we've got Zach Wild on the guitar, we've got Blasco on the bass, and my drummer. Oh fuck!" Like he couldn't remember his fucking drummer's name. Like, I'm like fucking Ozzy,
That's
man.
too funny.
So how's the songwriting process different from Woyote and Gemini Syndrome?
Whoa, that's a good question. Woyote is pretty much Mikey Doling and myself writing with Chris Collier in the room. It's really pretty streamlined down to the two of us. He does the music and then he hands it off to me, and I'll contribute musically if I feel a need vocally to change something, but otherwise I usually leave it alone. And then I write the vocals. And then Chris is in the room kind of contributing drums and stuff like that, right? So it's really the three of us kind of in the room. And then we take that to Belgium with the guys in Woyote, and they flare it out, make it their, give it their touch and everything. But it's Mikey has a pretty specific vision with the stuff that he writes musically on guitar, and so we pretty stick to that game plan most of the time. Gemini, it depends on the record, it depends on the song. We've written stuff in apartments together. We've written stuff in the studio. Sometimes it's a group effort. Somebody might come with an entire song already put together, and we all kind of add our pieces to it. We might start from just like one riff. It just depends. But we've got a lot more history writing music and Gemini Syndrome together at 4 records now. And if you want to get real specific, we have 5 records, and one of them we did. The first one was with Mikey Doling. He produced it before we got signed back in 2010. So.
Oh damn, life is weird like that, ain't it?
Yeah, that's kind of why Woyote is even a thing. So I met Mikey when I was playing guitar in OTEP back in 2007. It was my first tour, and he was the first guy in my tour kind of friends that took me under his wing and kind of looked out for me, showed me the ropes and made sure I was okay, checked in with me and stuff. I was like 25, I was a kid.
But dude, you've been doing this for a while though, because haven't you been like in music since you was like fucking like 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like you're still shitting your pants when you like. Guys.
Quite literally, there's a picture I've seen. I don't have it, but my mom probably does, of me in a diaper reaching up to, in just a diaper, reaching up to a piano that I'm not even tall enough to see the keys yet and trying to play it.
Yeah.
So if that's any kind of setup for what the rest of my life became, if a picture in 1,000 words, it was that.
That's
But yeah,
fucking
I've
wild.
been singing since before I can remember. My mom sings, so I heard her all the time, and then she was able to kind of guide me until I was old enough to really, study, I guess. And then I was all about piano lessons, and I took lessons up until my teens, and then I picked up guitar when I was like 11 or 12 in junior high, and discovered rock music and Nirvana and Soundgarden and that kind of shit. And the rest is history. So yeah, I'm a lifer, as I like to say.
You have to be,
Nice.
especially in music, dude, because like in order to pay the bills in it, you have to be all in. Like, like that has to be a thing. I also know you're into like martial arts and shit. Are you into like UFC and stuff like that, or?
I don't follow it much anymore. There was a time in my life, the Chuck Liddell era of UFC, I was way into it. So back probably, we're talking 15 years ago now.
Like back when Ken Shamrock was still fighting.
Yeah, towards the end of his heyday. I guess when it was popular before it was super popular, right? Like it still was. It wasn't underground anymore. It had moved out of. It's like Fight Club. We've moved out of the basement, and they were like on the streets and shit, But it had
back when UFC guys used to go to WWE and shit.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that era. Absolutely.
That was crazy.
But yeah, I'm a longtime martial arts enthusiast, if you will. I've studied Hapkido, which is Korean. That was how I got my start. I was wrestling, I suppose, before that in junior high. And then I started studying Chinese Kung Fu when I was like 16. And I've been doing that ever since.
Jesus, dude.
So are you a nerd too?
Fuck yeah. You couldn't tell I've been playing music since I was 3 and I studied Chinese Kung Fu. Yeah, I'm a fucking nerd. Yeah.
I've got my nerd stamp on me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
So it's time to break out the nerd collection since we're doing this. I have the original Star Wars trilogy theatrical releases on VHS tape.
Wow.
Nice.
That's how I get all the ladies.
Yeah, I bet.
I get the ladies with a boglin.
It's a surefire win with the VHS, bro.
Right, I got the tape still too. I see you're stroking your beard.
I'm thinking about the one VHS tape I have, and it's and that's actually not mine. It's my brother's. It's at his place now, but it's How High with Method Man and Redman, or Method Man and
I love that movie.
Method Man and Redman on VHS. We were going through stuff. I was like, "You have this on tape, bro?" Wow, that's hard.
How High or Half Baked?
That's hardcore.
How High.
See,
I love Dave Chappelle, and the movie's probably better. Half Baked's probably a better movie, but I love How High.
See, I like Half Baked because of one scene, the Bob Saget scene.
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of the first peak that we got outside of Full House, that Bob Saget was like kind of a pervert and fucked up,
Yeah, I fucking love that. His stand-up was amazing.
Yeah, and super raunchy, right? But nobody knew that at the time. There wasn't the internet. You had to go see him live to know that that's what his persona really was, other than like, the dad on Full House, right?
Yeah, and that was the mystique about it. It wasn't that he was necessarily, some of the things he said was funny. It's just, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, coming out of this, like you're yeah.
Like, what the fuck? I love a good stoner film though, like Grandma's Boy and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he's like fucking in that car and he's like talking the devil's on the phone. I think it's for you. And they're like, I can't drive. I'm too high to go to the devil's house. And they got the monkey.
I go to the loony bin with you, bro.
That dude is wild. Did you see like the TMZ shit on him?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I guess he did an anti-Semitic rant on some fucking poor waiter and shit.
Yikes.
Wow.
Shit.
I'll just stay far away from that. Shout out to
Yeah.
my buddy Randall Reeder, who got one of his major starts in that movie, Grandma's Boy. In the scene at the end where they're having the big party, he's the big biker dude who takes the cereal away from the nerdy businessman from the grandma. He goes, "Sucks to be you, nerd." That was like one of his first big breaks. And then he's Big Bob in Escape from Guantanamo Bay, Harold and Kumar 2.
Dude, that's fucking cool.
He's been my whole. I met him back in 2003 when I had first moved to Hollywood. I was like 21 years old. I'm aging myself here. But we met when we were way younger, and we were both just breaking. I hadn't started touring professionally or anything like that. I was a baby, so I've known him forever. Call him House, and he's like 8 of me.
Jesus, dude.
He's a giant and just a sweetheart of a man. He's had a crazy journey. He's had a couple strokes. He's now like an outlaw biker preacher. So he goes to like outlaw bars and preaches the gospel of Jesus to him. Bless his heart for it, man. But he's one of the coolest dudes. Now he's in all the Deadpool movies now. So he's like crushing out there,
Damn, dude, that's a wild resume. Deadpool, Grandma's Boy,
and my favorite of all of them was Idiocracy.
He was in Idiocracy.
He's the guy that he was the Secretary of Interior. No, he was the Secretary of Interior. A couple of us guys were wondering maybe we go family style on her.
Okay.
Maybe not right now.
Yeah,
that's a big.
That's such a good movie.
You want to know what's wild is Crocs were actually designed for that movie.
I would love my Crocs.
You know how in that movie the most famous shoe is Crocs, and they're supposed to be this ugly, stupid shoe. Well, they didn't become popular until after that movie was released, which showed.
Are you fucking with me right now?
No, I'm not.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, they were designed for the movie, and then they became popular afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel validated. No comment after that. No comment after that.
You feel validated or violated?
Validated. Validated in my perceptions of those shoes. And that's all I'm going to say about that. You can like whatever footwear you want, and I'm not judging anybody. I just don't wear Crocs, and now I know why.
Because it's an Idiocracy.
That's
funny story about this. So that movie came out right when I had joined OTEP. And at the time, Raymond Herrera owned this or was partial owner of the company that made cocaine energy drinks. And they were these little Red Bull cans, and on the side of the can, they had 3.5 little bowl icons, meaning that it was 3.5 Red Bulls in this tiny ass little can. So we were sponsored by them. We had like cases of this stuff. Well, they actually made Brondo, the thirst mutilator. So we were on tour with pallets of Brondo in our bus bays, drinking that shit. All this like, it's got electrolytes, motherfucker.
Got electrolytes, yeah. Like,
for sure.
That's so funny.
That's fucking hilarious. So what happened to your dreads, bro?
Well, about 5 years ago, I hit a wall. I had been drinking really heavily. I was developing some serious health problems for it. I developed a physical dependency. I was in the middle of a divorce. I was really depressed, and I was trying to quit drinking. And I had a seizure, trying to detox, and I coded. My heart stopped, my lungs stopped. I died for 90 seconds. My kung fu teacher, my Sifu, Manuel Rodriguez, I was staying with him, and he did CPR and saved my life. Wow. And I began the process of trying to heal, right? Trying to figure out what was wrong, why I was living this way, and what the source of my escapism, or whatever you want to call it, was. And the long and short of it was that I didn't have a desire to be on this planet at the time, and there was a lot of traumas that I had to go through and kind of address and look at to make peace with, more or less. And shift that whole perspective that I don't want to die. I wasn't suicidal, right? Mind you, I didn't want to kill myself. I just didn't want to be alive anymore.
I understand.
So it's just as damning in that sense, but it's not the same problem, and it's tricky. So in the course of all of that, I decided the last time I had dreadlocks was when I was in OTEP, and the last time I cut my dreads was when I quit OTEP. And so I was divorced. At that point, maybe the paperwork was or wasn't signed, but she was gone. I was back in Vegas, living at my house that I was at the time, and trying to piece it back together. And I cut everything. I cut my beard off. I shaved. I cut my dreads with a knife. I like sawed them off. And we ended up recording that and using it later in the abandoned video. And we shaved my head. I cut my beard for the first time since I was 16. I hadn't seen my chin since I was a teenager.
Damn, dude.
There's a funny story about that I got a job at the Steak and Shake as a waiter. And they were like, cool. So you start tomorrow. Just do us a favor. Go ahead and go home and shave that beard off because we can't have hair in the food. And I was like, okay. And I went home and I shaved my beard and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, and I went to the phone and I called them and I informed them I appreciated the opportunity, but I wouldn't be coming into work there. And I never shaved again until that night. It's a true story. I was like, that guy looks ridiculous. I'm not going out in public like this ever again.
I do that when I shave, dude. I'm like, what the fuck? Nope.
I look 12, bro.
Like you look like a newborn.
I don't have any pigment. Okay. So what that means in a sense of aging is you can look at pictures of me from 21 and to now, and I don't look a whole lot different. Which is great. I haven't really aged a ton, I don't think. But if I shave this off, I suddenly become a preteen. Like instantaneously. Like tattoos doesn't matter, piercings doesn't matter, any kind of like I'm a full grown adult now, doesn't matter. I'm 12 years old automatically.
So you're not albino though, you're just light skinned?
Oh no, I have albinism.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't sure.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to assume your
vision
condition
problems like besides just wearing glasses.
Yeah.
I dated someone who brother had albinism, and yeah,
it's a thing, it's a thing to get used to, and but all of that in my kind of, I don't know, rebirth, if you will, my kind of reclaiming of my own life, I started fresh, right?
So did you get your health back under control, or is that something you're still working towards?
No, I haven't had a drink in almost 5 years.
Proud of you.
Thank you. I'm like whatever, California sober or whatever they say.
So you smoke weed, but you don't drink.
I don't go to meetings. I'm not part of the program. For me, the problem wasn't the drinking. The problem was that I didn't want to be alive. When I solved the problem of not wanting to be alive and started to enjoy being alive, I didn't want to drink anymore. But I love smoking weed, and I do. But I also can smoke weed every day and still do my job. And I couldn't drink every day and do my job.
See, that's the difference between an alcoholic and a stoner.
I mean, I'm living proof. I mean, I pulled it off for some time, but eventually it caught up, right? And you just don't get debilitated the same way when you're smoking weed as you do when you're drunk. And also, for at least my experience, okay, I'm not a scientist or whatever, but you can develop a tolerance to THC, and then you can smoke more THC and still kind of maintain this tolerance, this functionality where I don't feel impaired ever.
Yeah.
Your tolerance for booze goes up and you start drinking more and you're just getting more fucked up. And there's a point where I don't care who you are, so much alcohol will render you useless, right? Yep. And it's just a game you can't win. As much as I was like, I hate quitting anything. I don't want to quit this either because nobody likes a quitter. But
and also you can overdo alcohol and it'll mess with your health. If you overdo weed, you're just going to take a nap.
Well, and again, I'm proof in the pudding there that the withdrawal will kill you if you're not careful. There's only two drugs. There's only two types of drugs, alcohol and barbiturates, that you can die from the withdrawal. And I think that's something that's not talked about a lot. Like I've encountered more people than it was a surprising number of people that I have met who drank heavily and had no idea that if they just stopped cold turkey at the stage they were in their drinking, like the chances of them getting really, really fucked up is really, really high. It's dangerous. Like you need to go to see a doctor and get help and get medications to stop the shaking and all that. Cause it can turn into, the 12 hours before I seized out and my heart stopped, dude. I mean, it was a living hell. I don't wish that on anyone. And I would highly suggest that anyone finding themselves in that place, go see a fucking doctor because it sucks and it's dangerous, right?
Yeah, you have to go to like a detox program, don't you?
Yeah, and they'll give you certain types of, it might be a Valium or something like that, but like a nerve calming agent to help your nervous system get past the fact that it's fiending for this thing that it thinks it needs. And your organs.
You want to know what's weird? Some programs are actually giving medical marijuana to people that are having withdrawal symptoms as their medication if they don't want to take actual over-the-counter medication. I'm like, you should have been doing that this whole fucking time.
Well, yeah, better late than never, I suppose, right? Realizing that there's a lot that the natural world has to offer us, that there's a lot of natural remedies that are effective to some extent.
Dude, we can go down that rabbit hole all day. That's why I told you, if you enjoy the show, we'd love to have you on more.
Yeah.
I love that medical side of things, because I had a therapist recently. He's like, if it was legal, I'd prescribe you psilocybin for anxiety, microdosing. I'm like, fuck, it's not legal in Ohio.
Well, not yet. I mean, Ohio was one of the last places I ever expect to legalize marijuana in the first place. That was one of the places back 10 years ago. I was terrified to drive through the state if we had weed. So
I don't blame you.
I wouldn't carry it. We got pulled over once by some Ohio State troopers, and they were like straight out of Super Troopers, bro. And he had the fucking flat brimmed hat, and he was like, it's 7 a.m. Okay, I get woken up. He's like, you been drinking? I was like, well, yeah, till 4 a.m. And now you woke me up. So technically, no. They lined us up out on this. They didn't find anything. They should have, but they didn't, and they let us go. But like, if they had found what I had at the time, it would have been bad for me in that state, right? It was like you could get caught with like a gram, and it was a felony. It was crazy.
Well, guess what? It's legal now in Ohio.
I know.
Welcome to the future, bro.
I know it. Don't I know? I was just there.
Bro, next time you come through, let me know, because I live in Ohio, but not quite, because 12 minutes from me is Wheeling.
Okay, I know where you are.
Like I'm about an hour and a half from Pittsburgh and an hour and a half from Columbus. So next time you guys are around, let me know. I'll come out and see you guys.
Well, nothing's on the books right now. Meigs is busy with Coal Chamber. Brian is out with a band as somebody helping out. He's on tour. Like
so you guys have 3 songs out with Gemini Syndrome, new songs. Is there an album coming out?
There's an album done. We kind of rethought our approach to a lot of things, and we needed some time off after the tour we did this winter. It was stressful in a few different ways, and we needed some time. And then it coincided that Meigs, right after we came home, was doing Australia with Coal Chamber, and Coal Chamber's out doing stuff right now on and off. So it was perfect to kind of give everybody. I had just bought the house that I'm in. We just moved in here in August, and then I went on tour for like 3 months between Woyote and Gemini Syndrome, and I had spent like 13 days in my house, and we owned it for like 4 months. So I needed some, and we adopted 2 puppies, like 2 Great Dane puppies, who were like, we'd rescued them, so they needed attention and stuff. So it's been nice to kind of settle. I teach music. Giordano, I call him Gio, and Obsidian, and I call him Sid, or Darth Sidious, or Siddhartha.
Siddhartha.
Yeah.
So you're a Star Wars nerd too.
I am a Star Wars guy. Yeah.
What'd you think of the Jar Jar Binks theory?
Well, what's that? That he's the Sith Lord?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not quite that of a deep dive into it. I think it could be plausible in some world. It would be a great double-blind conspiracy if that was the case.
The theory goes, and even George Lucas said he's not going to deny it. If you watch the documentary on the Star Wars prequel trilogy, George Lucas stated that he wants this to mirror the original trilogy, except all the characters to be on the dark side. Well, if you go back and rewatch, they are missing a Yoda on the dark side. That was supposed to be Jar Jar. He's supposed to be a bumbling idiot and then turn out to be a Sith Lord. People hated Jar Jar so much they never did the plot twist. However, Jar Jar is the reason why Palpatine took power in the first place, and the whole thing happened in the original trilogy anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, that irritates me, and that means it's good writing.
I just fucked with your head.
Yeah, no, that's what it makes sense. It's a great conspiracy. It's a great way to run one. If you put the biggest bumbling idiot in front, and really he's the
And if they would have done it, that whole prequel trilogy would have been 10 times better.
You're 100%. Yeah, but because of popular opinion, they swayed their course.
Yeah,
I hated that character when I saw it the first time too. But had that plot twist come, I probably would have. I would have been like, "All right, you got me."
Right? Like it's me, been me this whole time. Even the guy that voiced Jar Jar said he had a whole new voice planned, so it was in place.
Wow. Well, I mean, if it was in place, then it is, right? Who am I to say it's not true?
Oh, also, a friend of mine.
We all got duped by Jar Jar Binks.
A friend of mine, and you might remember this. Han Solo in the original trilogy during that scene with Greedo. Han shot first, and I'm not going to say Han shot first. Han was the only motherfucker to shoot in that scene.
Yeah.
The only one. You know what scene I'm talking about, right, Aaron?
Yeah, I think so. It's
the one where cantina.
The cantina, and he shoots. He's the only one to fucking shoot.
Well, he's not a Jedi.
Right? Like, why would he have some kind of thing? Oh, with you being in mixed martial arts, I think you've been keeping up with this shit because everybody has. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight.
I know very little about it. What I do know is that Mike Tyson will be a badass until he's dead.
He's going to win the fight, ain't
he? Yeah. So Mike Tyson's an interesting one in the way that he uses boxing. So the particular type of Chinese martial arts I do is called Southern Praying Mantis. And it's a very obscure kind of it's becoming more known, but it was very like unknown for a long time. But there's specific body mechanics that it utilizes. It's like a Southern sort of kung fu system adapted from a Northern style, and it's like really in close fighting. And it uses a lot of this hip and shoulder combination torque. And if you watch Mike Tyson, he does this thing where his back turns into like a curve. It's this kind of hollow chest thing where he's fighting. And that's like it's a page right out of the Hakka martial arts playbook. He's like fighting with Chinese kung fu principles in the boxing ring. And that's one of the reasons he's so devastating.
And it's also wild because he also has the strength. And
because on top of the mechanics, he's a brutally strong guy. So you put those two together, like Chinese kung fu people would use the mechanics to fight a guy his size. But then to have a guy his size with his skill level also have those mechanics, it's like, well, that's not fair.
And also his trash talking is fucking crazy.
Well, and he's got that voice, man. He's got, like, that guy's gonna talk. He's gonna shit talk you, and then he's gonna knock your ass out, like before you knew you got in the ring.
Did you hear what he said to fuck? He was doing the press conference with Jake, and people were like, "Oh, it's 57-year-old Mike Tyson. He might not be as crazy as he once was." Jake looked at Mike and said, "I want to kiss you on the lips." And Mike looked at him and said, "I saw that video you dancing on YouTube. I wasn't sure what you was doing, but I had a fucking erection." That is Mike Tyson I remember.
That's why he's going to win the fight.
Well, the thing is he was talking to one of the reporters, and the reporter just asked him, "You're 56 years old. What makes you think you should fight?" And Mike kind of like told him, "You calling me old," and was like flipping out a little bit. And a person said, Mike Tyson flipped out on a reporter. And I'm like, no. When I was young, Mike Tyson flipping on a reporter was telling them, and I quote, "I'm going to fuck you till you love me." That's him flipping. That is Mike Tyson flipping out on a reporter.
That's a true story. Mm-hmm.
It is. Mm-hmm. He told this reporter, like, if this was prison, I'd fuck you.
I remember. He was yelling it too. It was like after a fight, wasn't it? It was like all the cameras in his. He's screaming that over the crowd. You're like, whoa, dude.
I'm going to fuck you till you love me.
And he's like, that was like after he won the fight. You know what I mean? Like, you already fought, bro, and you're still like crazy.
It wasn't enough.
Shouldn't you be coming down from the adrenaline kick now? No.
Nope.
Just a beast. Just a beast.
Another thought is, though, is like if Jake, okay, let's say Jake somehow wins, though. you just beat a 57-year-old Mike Tyson. Like, he's not technically in his prime anymore. If you lose, you still lost. Like, Jake either wins or loses depending on his mindset going into this. Because if I was his age and I was fighting Mike Tyson, I'd be like, I still won even if I lost because I got hit by Mike fucking Tyson.
Yeah, dude, the question is, did you survive?
Yeah.
Right? That's what living is winning.
Right? The only person to survive being punched by Mike Tyson, Steve-O.
But he's half brain dead already anyway. He did that to himself, right? So, you know.
Fair.
I don't mean that. I mean, I'm just saying that guy's done a lot of drugs. And so getting hit in the head by Mike Tyson's probably not the most dangerous thing the guy's done.
Right? Because his drug of choice was whippets.
That's all I'm saying. No shit talking, no disrespect meant, but just saying.
Man, it's just facts. Well, I'm a comedian, so I do some shit talking sometimes, so you're good.
You did warn me ahead of time that there was no rules, so I shouldn't feel like I safeguard anybody's feelings.
Bro, when I last did comedy, I had the crowd going like, "What the fuck?" Because I was like, I told them, I'm like, "Do you think anybody should be kink shamed?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Hear me out though. How about Jeffrey Dahmer?"
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Like, what about that motherfucker? Like, he ate ass literally. Did we just become best friends?
Wow, that's good. Actually, I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
Dude, how long did it take you to get your beard that long though? Because you said you just shaved it not long ago.
No. That when I shaved the dreads and all that, that was 5 years ago.
Oh, so that's 5 years of growth.
This honestly, I mean, my hair grows so crazy fast. I cut this to probably like here, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Bro, like I feel you. I just trimmed up my beard into like a Lemmy meets Frank Zappa kind of thing.
Yeah, I see that.
About 4 days ago, and now it's 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
So I look like what would happen.
You got a Zappa thing going on. I think that's awesome.
I fucking love Zappa. Not a lot of people really know about Zappa these days, and it's quite depressing.
Yeah.
Did you know Frank Zappa had the first ever album with a parental advisory sticker on it?
I think I did know that, but thanks for reminding me. Long ago I heard that.
Well, here's another fucked up trivia is it was his Jazz from Hell album, which was all instrumental.
That's right.
Isn't that amazing?
Like that guy, that guy's an alien, right?
He is.
He wasn't human.
Well, he released fucking 80 albums after he died. Like, how do you have that much material?
The Ascended Masters are real, and he's one of them. Frank Zappa's a secret chief of the Illuminati. I knew it the whole time.
Frank Zappa also founded Alice Cooper. Like, he's the one that got him famous. Like,
yep. Funny, not funny thing, but crazy thing about like if you ever played for that guy in his band, like you know that guy's or girl is just one of the best in the business, right? Nita Strauss is out there now doing a solo thing, and she was playing with him. And before her, it was Jason Hook, a 5 Finger Death Punch.
Yes, sir.
And that guy's, I mean, he's a monster guitar player, dude. Just a powerhouse.
If I'm not mistaken, before him was Kerry Kelly, who played for LA Guns.
I think so, yeah. Yep.
And then before him was, I think that was when Ryan was in the band, because Ryan Roxy, he was in the band on and off. So he was in the band before Kerry, and then before Ryan was Kane Roberts.
It's just awesome to see a guy like that still relevant, right? Still very much in the scene, I guess, or whatever, and still respected by everybody.
In 76,
dude, right? Yeah, man.
I saw an interview with him, and he's like, the interviewer's like, "So with Slayer retiring, how about you?" And Alice was like, "I have the next 3 tours and 2 albums planned."
Man, that's so cool.
Does this guy know how to party or what?
I don't even know if I'll live that long, right? but I don't know that I could imagine living that long and still like world touring. Like,
Bro, Alice Cooper was given 2 weeks to live in like the 80s.
Yeah.
Because his alcoholism was so bad. So I'm sure you'll live to be in your 70s, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody back in the day, one of my good friends growing up, we were hanging out with her, and her husband was my good friend, and her parents were in town. We were all sitting around drinking, and she's like, and I'm smoking like a chimney, and she's like, "You're gonna outlive all of us, despite all your bad habits." Like, I have made the worst decisions of everybody, right? My brother Keelan says he's gonna title my cause of death as misadventure. And it's an accurate probably statement, but even after all that, I'm like probably gonna end up being like 94.
Well, look at Keith Richards.
My hair won't change though.
Well, look at Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones, though. They used to joke about how he would outlive everybody, even in the fucking 90s.
And here he is.
Robin Williams did a whole bit about him. He's like, "Oh, how's Keith still alive?" And this was 20 years ago.
Right.
Like, that's the fucking wild thing, is like, people don't realize, like, if your genes are good, your genes are good.
Some people can and some people can't. The last time I saw a picture of him in any kind of media, it's been a couple of years, but it was a morning shot of him on his balcony in like some hotel in London or something, like holding a beer at like 9 a.m. I'm like, this guy is still like morning drinking. This guy's still morning drinking. That's insane.
And he's like 80.
Fuck, bro. I can tap out at 36. This guy's 3 times that. It's just like cracking IPAs next to his eggs.
I was watching an interview with him, and they're like, "So you quit doing cocaine?" He's like, "Yeah, I quit doing cocaine when I was 67. They're like, and they're like,
Now's the time. Now's the time.
They're like, what made you stop? And he's like, "I climbed a palm tree and fell out of it and cracked my skull." I'm like, that's enough of an excuse.
Also an alien.
Well, that motherfucker, he don't smoke his cigarettes. If you watch his interviews, he does this the whole time, and it never makes its way to his mouth. Well, if you look, Captain Jack Sparrow was modeled after him, if that tells you anything.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And he also played his dad in one of the movies. Keith did.
Oh.
Did he?
Yeah, he played the father of Captain Jack Sparrow, which makes a lot of fucking sense because they look similar.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting cold in Canada?
Yeah, we have a frost advisory tonight.
It's Canada for you.
Yeah.
It's almost fucking summer and you got fucking frost advisory. Where are you located at in the world? You still in Cali?
No, I've been in Las Vegas for 8 years, and it's a brisk 100 degrees right now at 8 o'clock at night.
I lived in Arizona for a while. The weather's amazing out there.
I love it. I'm used to it now. But yeah, you have frost advisories, and we're in triple digits down here. So
yeah,
I have 80 degrees, at least last time I checked. So it's fucking great. Do you live right in
the
Vegas?
weather here is on menopause.
What? The weather is?
Yeah, like it gets hot flashes and it's cold. And then...
I always tell people in Ohio, if our women ain't bipolar, our weather sure is. Because it'll be fucking. It was raining yesterday morning, and it was 90 degrees by the evening, and then it was down to 40.
Yeah, so you get it.
See, like in Nevada, though, in Arizona, when I was living out there, they only have 2 seasons. Really fucking hot or not. That's the 2 seasons. Like it was 130 fuck outside when I was out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have about 8 months of awesome, and then about 4 months of super hot.
Yeah,
and if you can get, which is always nice then because you don't get it, so it's never a bummer. It's like, oh, cool, we're awesome, we're getting rain. Hey, look, something's happening, right?
That makes you not.
Otherwise, nothing's happening. Oh, how is it out there? Well, that's where I grew up, Chicago. Right?
Yeah, and I went to a Chicago open air one year, and Chicago is a great place. Some really horrible areas, but
yeah, well, every city's like that. But in a lot of, not that it was the deciding factor or anything, but it was certainly a contributing one. Was the weather there? To go west, oh man, it's the same thing. It's either it's freezing in the winter, it's deadly hot in the summer and humid, and then it storms all year round, and there's tornadoes, and it's just all, you never know.
Yeah.
So I was like, go west, young man. I went to move to Hollywood, lived on the ocean for 17 years, and then it got crazy in California. So I backtracked a little bit, 3 hours, and now we're in Vegas. And now everybody from California is moving here.
When I lived in Arizona, it was like that. Everybody was moving. They're like, we're fucking tired of these taxes. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep. So I figure I'll be here for another 10 years, and then I'll have to migrate out somewhere else.
Come to Ohio.
I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to go that far back east. I think Denver's the farthest I would go.
See, nobody ever out west goes, I'm going to move to Ohio. Like that's never.
I would never go back to Illinois or any of those. You know, nothing against those places. I just don't like living there.
I don't. I just live out here because of family. Once.
Yeah, my whole family's still back there. Right, I'm going out there, and I'll be in the Midwest, and I'll be in Michigan in June for a wedding. I'll be back home in Chicago for a wedding in September. No, I'm the only one that left. They think I'm crazy. I think they're crazy.
I kind of want to come out that way just to see what the comedy scene's like.
You know, you would think I would be some input, but I'm not. I live in Las Vegas. I rarely go out to Las Vegas. I love it because I can. The city for me is 10 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
But I live in a neighborhood that seems like a suburb, more or less. Vegas is a cool little spot, man. There's a lot of local stuff, a lot of cool restaurants that aren't like, you know, Gordon Ramsay shit. Not that there's anything wrong with that either, because those are always really good, but it's the tourist spots, right? There's a whole town or four around Las Vegas Strip and around Fremont that most people don't witness. And that's where I think most of the locals kind of hang out and do our thing. I go to the Strip whenever people visit and want to go to the Strip. It's always when somebody comes on vacation, they're like, let's go see the casinos. And we're like, all right, let's go. And
I was fortunate enough when I lived out there to have gotten the like local treatment, because I got a friend, he lives in Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very nice neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, like everywhere, right? There's really nice spots in Henderson, and there's some spots we call Hendertucky.
Hendertucky.
Yeah.
What are they screwing their cousins? Like, what's going on?
No, I don't know. I don't, you know. we don't go over there. Henderson's, I mean, I'm on the east side of Vegas, and Henderson's it's right there. So that's where my grocery store is that I go to, is in Henderson. Really, if you're at all familiar with the suburbs of Chicago, and the movie Wayne's World took place in Aurora, Illinois, which is where I lived. Mm-hmm. Las Vegas is actually the same size as Aurora, Illinois. It's not really a big place. I think there's only about 1.1 million in the whole area, with like Henderson, Summerlin, North Vegas, Las Vegas. So it's not a crazy big city like LA or Chicago or New York, but there's enough stuff here that it's definitely like you don't have to leave to get anything.
Exactly.
So
except for prostitutes, because it's not legal there. But other than that, if you
I mean, it's Las Vegas.
You can still get them. It's just
I don't know this by experience, but what I do know is that there's still, you know, advertising trucks that have escort services that still drive around the city.
Oh, that's where they get away with it, because they call them escort services.
Oh yeah, I was like, what do you mean you can't get hookers in Las Vegas?
You can't get hookers. You can get escorts. You get hookers in Reno.
Fuck.
I'm not wrong.
You're rapid fire, dude.
That's where the bunny ranch is at.
You don't miss a beat.
That's the comedy in me, man.
And it's strong with you.
Thank you. I also have a touch of the tism.
Who doesn't?
Right. I'm not the texture kind of tism. I'm the my brain don't stop kind of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I blame it on the full spectrum weed, because before I wasn't that too far on the spectrum, and then it put me on the spectrum.
Blame it on the weed. You know what's funny about? I have astigmatism in my eyes, and that makes them shake all the time because they're constantly trying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of ism. I like that. I'm gonna steal that and use that shit later.
You got the tism because your eye does this. Does it mess with it? It has to mess with your eyesight. Like you see the whole room. Does it make you dizzy?
No, so I don't really notice it at this point. It's an auto function. So
Well, what happening is one eye is focusing, and then the other eye is focusing, and then the other eye is focusing, and it goes back and forth, so you're still seeing straight. It's just
Yeah. In a sense, that is what's happening, especially between the two optics. So the cornea in most people with albinism is misshapen, which means that the light going to the retina to be interpreted by the brain isn't getting directly to the retina.
Oh shit.
Because the cornea is misshapen. So it's supposed to filter like a prism, filter the light to the source, and it doesn't. So the eye starts to autocorrect to try to get the right feed, and it can't, and then it just always moves. So the other part of albinism is not having pigment. The retina is pigmented. So part of your visual field just didn't develop in the womb, and it's not activated. So because of those two factors, you can't do LASIK, and you can only correct it to a certain place. So almost everybody with albinism is considered low vision or legally blind or some development of that. There are, I mean, I drive legally. I drive a car, but I have to wear like these bioptic telescopes, right? That are used for spot checking, like long distance, or spot checking signs that are small or whatever, so that I can operate on a normal playing field with everybody else.
So kind of like Mr. Magoo in a way.
Yeah, man.
I'm visually impaired as well.
Damn, you're the real life Mr. Magoo.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing you got to figure out and to reverse, right? I have like, where is it? I don't really use this one, but it's here just in case I need. This one's a fancy one, but I have like all sorts of magnifying glasses and little globe magnifiers all around the house and stuff. You use what you need.
Would you be able to get like a special made windshield that's made of that shit?
Yeah, it doesn't. Magnification in that sense can be disorienting to depth perception.
Oh, okay.
So you can't I couldn't magnify the whole field of vision out of the windshield, because then I wouldn't be able to gauge really how far things were. Right? You have to actually correct the way that the eye is interpreting the information it's getting. It's not that it's not getting the same information. It's just not getting it as efficiently as your eyes would, right? Or as a person with normal vision would. So the only way you can get it to be corrected is to do it at the source. I can't just mask the whole thing. Now, with all of this technological advancements that we're experiencing recently, and like Neuralink, and there's a kid out there now who can play video games with his mind. I believe he's like paralyzed, and they put Neuralink in him, and he can play a video game just by sending thought impulses. So cool. If they can do that kind of stuff, I've been saying since I was young that I had a feeling that by the time I died, there would be some sort of advancement in science that would allow me to see it 2020 or whatever. And I feel like we're living in a world where that's not outside the realm of possibilities, whether it was some sort of technological eyewear that affected the eye, or if it was some sort of implant in the eye itself, or an implant in the brain that affects where the visual cortex is interpreting that information. Maybe that's how you alter it. I don't know. But I think something's going to happen before I check out of here.
If they come out with it, it should be called an AI.
There you go.
Trademark that right now.
AEYE, AI.
Right now. Yep.
Let's do it. So that's very interesting, because I knew that people with albinism had eye troubles, but I wasn't sure the in-depth with it. So I'm glad that you informed me of that, because I don't know very many people that have it.
It's 1 in 100,000 or so people. And then there's different types of it, sort of. There's a thing called hyperpigmentation, where maybe it's hypopigmentation, one of the two.
I think hyper would be too much pigmentation.
Well, it's basically that it's like the splotchiness. It'll be like albino in spots.
Right? Kind of like vertigo or vitiligo, I think is what's called vitiligo.
Yeah, similar to that. There's people who would just have ocular albinism, and they just have albinism in their eyes. And they'll have the super blue eyes like I do. So yeah, it varies, right? And you can have any kind of ethnic DNA background. You can get, there's people in Asia who have albinism. There's people in Africa who have albinism. There's people in Europe and America who have albinism.
So it's rarer than what, redheads, you would say?
Yeah.
Damn. Dude, I didn't know that, because I knew redheads was kind of rare, but I figured albinism's rare because you don't see a whole lot of. people with it?
Yeah, it falls into the category of a recessive gene trait. So both parents have to have it recessive in order for it to become activated in the child. And then even me having albinism, if I were to have kids, which I'm not, but if I were, my chances are still only as good as anybody else's. I still have to find a partner to mate with that also has the recessive trait. If they don't have it, then we're not having albino kids. So it's, and then I've met families who I came up in LA with a family of 3 siblings who all had albinism. I knew a family when I was a young kid who had 3 children that the outer 2 had albinism. So one was born with albinism, then a second child was born without, then the third child was born with. I was adopted, and I have a full brother out there somewhere, and then I have a half brother out there somewhere. Neither of them have albinism, but I do. So it's like, that's why I moved to Vegas. Like, just fucking Vegas odds, rolling dice, see what happens. We don't know.
See, I'm not a gambler or a drinker, so
Me neither.
I would go for the shows.
Is that
the shows, the food, the weather?
You won't make fun of me for this because you listen to all kinds of music. I want to go to Vegas to see the Backstreet Boys. That's the only reason. Never got to see them.
Best show I've seen in Vegas is Boys to Men.
Really? I didn't know they were still doing shit.
It was a few years back. I don't know that they are now, but I grew up with loving Boys to Men. That's probably where I did most of my singing before I was a teenager, right? I can still sing all of those records.
I'm not with Backstreet Boys.
Yeah. So I get it. Yeah.
See, that's why I wanted to have you on, because I know your eclectic taste of music. You said the best show you've seen was Boys to Men. The best show I've seen was Weird Al Yankovic. I don't know if you got to see Weird Al yet, but you need to if not.
Could you hear that? Could you hear my piano?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay, good. I was playing Backstreet's Back.
Backstreet's Back. Oh, is that your first song you learned?
No, I just learned it right now. I'm just, it's in there. It's in there so intrinsically from me listening to it repetitively as a child.
Dude, you are amazing. So are you a fan of Weird Al? I was just talking about seeing him live. He puts on a hell of a show. I don't know if you've seen him.
I never have. I grew up listening to a bunch of him, yeah. And I'm certainly inspired by him and influenced, because I make up fucking lyrics to my own songs all the time.
Remember we fry.
Yeah. One of my favorites that somebody actually pointed out to me, and they made a Bob Ross painting of like me, but it was me as Bob Ross doing the painting, and it was for Pay for This, and it was I like to paint a little bit.
That's fucking cool.
So I actually sang it that way for a long time after she told me that. I would be on stage, I like to paint a little bit, looking people in the eye, singing that shit to him.
If you get a chance though, listen to his B-sides, his non-parodies.
Okay.
He is actually a comedy writing genius, but he's more popular for his parodies. But he does like polka too. Like he'll do like angry white boy polka. Ever listen to that?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
That's a killer fucking tune. I actually entered to that on my last comedy show. I was like,
that was your walk-on music.
Yeah, everybody was looking because everybody did either hip hop or metal, and then they hear "Cut My Life into Pieces" like fucking.
That's funny.
Amazing.
Like I'm white. Well, I mean, you're really white, but like I'm so Caucasian. I come out to Weird Al.
Yeah.
Have you seen UHF?
Yes.
Would you eat a Twinkie Wiener sandwich?
Ew. No, I would not.
Would you?
I mean, maybe.
I mean, he's toured though. I'm pretty sure he's had worse. You've had gas station food, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
There was a tour where, you know, what Brian really likes to eat as snacks is like the fucking little mini wieners that come in a can.
Oh, yeah. Vienna sausages. My dad eats that shit.
Like the little mini ones.
Yeah.
They come in a can. There's liquid. They're in like juice. And it fucking weirds me out. Yeah. He would walk around with a fork. I'm like, no, bro.
Ew.
So I'll try. I've had one. Don't get me wrong. I put that wiener in my mouth, but
pause.
but I wouldn't do it again, is what I'm saying. But no, I've definitely eaten some weird stuff, and I'm definitely open to. I'll try just about anything. I grew up, like I said, in Chicago, and I grew up with a pretty unexplorative diet. Right? I liked cheeseburgers with bacon and ketchup only. You know what I mean? Like my Coke, no ice, and that's all I lived on for many years.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to California with my kung fu teacher, he was like, he'd grown up in Manhattan, and he was a Chinese kung fu guy, so he lived with the Chinese people, and he came from an Italian and Cuban family, so he's got all this ethnic influence, right? So he was like, you gotta eat all this, you gotta try all this stuff, dude. And so he got me to really kind of expand my horizons. I'll try anything, but a wiener Twinkie sandwich, I mean, I can't, just imagining, I could think of worse stuff.
Yeah, because all it is a hot dog on a Twinkie with some cheese whiz.
I mean, don't people make like donut cheeseburgers now? Like donut
Yes,
burgers? So
that's
like,
how you know you're American.
how is that any weirder, right?
The weirdest thing I ever seen at a restaurant was probably, and I've tried it and it's really good, a maple bacon sundae.
I have not seen that, but I saw like a maple bacon latte once.
Ooh.
And I thought that was really weird too, but I imagine it probably was pretty good.
It
But
is.
maple, I mean, bacon's awesome.
Yeah, bacon tastes good on anything.
Yeah.
Like
cereal bacon.
If it wasn't for bacon, we wouldn't know what a water chestnut was. Like, because they wrap it in fucking bacon and look.
Sorry, a little slow on the uptake there. Thanks.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's part of that tism that you're on.
All the time. Yeah, we're at the end of my week, and my in-laws are in town. They've been here for a week. Not that I'm not like stressed about it. I love them. They're great people, but it's just a lot. Like when you've got two more human beings in your space, and so and still trying to maintain the rest of my routine or whatever.
Yeah.
So I might be departing you here shortly.
You're good, bro. But you're always welcome back on. You got me on Facebook.
I think I'll take you up on that because I enjoyed talking to both of you today.
I love chatting with you, bro. And honestly, it don't even have to be a planned thing. If you see us live and it's just me and her or just a group of people, you can always jump on. We have a link in the description and shit.
Cool.
But if you have to go, you're more than
well. I only because I haven't eaten, and I told you I was going to do that, but I didn't because the in-laws were doing yard work for us. It's pretty cool, and they come in, they're like, "You guys suck at trimming bushes." They don't say that, but I can tell that because then they go out and trim all of our bushes.
Where they're from?
What's that?
Where are they from?
Wisconsin.
Oh, that explains a lot. That's the accent you used.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, Wisconsin.
It's almost Canadian.
It's close, and it's as close to Canada as it gets, right? Without being in Canada. I don't know if you could, intuit on your own, but I'm not a big fan of yard work.
That's why you live in Vegas, where there's no grass.
Well, yeah, but then there's an oxymoron paradox. There is the fact that I am an albino in the desert.
I was wondering that.
Shout out to my boy Adam down in Phoenix, who also has albinism, and I went and stayed with him when I was doing when we were doing Third Degree. I stayed with him for a week while I was recording. And there's a Cane's Chicken around the corner from his house, and he lives sort of in the hood of Phoenix. He lived close to downtown. We walked over there to get some chicken, and we were not just the only white guys in the neighborhood, but we're the whitest guys any of those dudes had ever seen. And the fucking conversations we have when we walk around the city together is priceless.
Oh shit!
But
an example.
Albinos in the desert. We always joke what were we thinking? We should be going to Alaska where it's dark 23 hours a day. We're like, nope, we're going to move to the equator.
Give us a little bit of an idea though, because you're an albino, man. You got to burn. What kind of sunscreen? What's your secret? It's not burning.
Well, I wear long sleeves most of the time, and I almost always have a hat on. If anybody's ever encountered me at a festival, you'll know that I always have a suit coat on. It's not because I think wearing suits is awesome, although that's part of it, but it's the fact that I can not have to lather in sunscreen. And I just get used to the heat and try to buy lightweight stuff. The other end of it, and people may think I'm crazy for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway because I'm old enough that I don't care what people think. So in the practice of traditional kung fu, there are different types of qi that they talk about, right? And there's different meridians in Chinese medicine, and different types of qi. Like your heart qi is responsible for joy and sorrow, whereas your liver qi affects like anger and stuff like that. That's why you can see people get angry, because they get fire qi in their liver. It makes them pissed. So anyway, there is a type of qi called guardian qi that you are said to develop. I mean, qi just means energy, right? And we know from physics that everything is energy. So we know that qi is a real thing. Yeah. We know it exists. Energy is a thing that at least we conceptualize. So the idea is that if you train consistently, you build up reservoirs of this energy like a battery, right? When I first moved to the West Coast, I was 18, and I didn't move to the West Coast originally to pursue music. I did it to pursue kung fu. And I lived with my teacher in Ventura on the beach. And all my life as a child, I burned. If I was out in this, I had to be in sunscreen. Like I blistered and peeled and, got sun sick and all that. And that's happened as an adult. I got sun sick one festival when we were playing at 5:30 in Michigan and the sun was here. And by the end of the set, I was fried. I was sick and I had to lay in my bunk for like 6 hours. But it's very rare. And it started becoming rare when I moved to Ventura and started training Kung Fu 8 hours a day. And I would be able to go to the beach for, reasonable amounts of time and come back like, I'll get pink, right? I'll get a little color, but I won't like fucking burn like you would think I should. And I'm convinced that it's because of the fact that I've trained Kung Fu more or less consistently all these years. Even in my drunken stupors, I would still manage to work in some time, a lot of the time, to maintain some sort of like routine, right?
So qi is similar to chakras then, right?
Yeah. So yeah, the word for it in that system would be prana. It's the same thing. In Korean it would be ki, or in Japanese it would be ki, qi. Even in like aikido, right? The way of flowing motion, or hapkido is also that. The systems are the same concepts, right? Like in Chinese modality, they refer to the chakras in a different way. They call them dantians, or centers, right? And so you have your dantian here, which is the center of the body. And then you have your middle dantian, which is like, it would equate to the heart chakra. And then you have your third dantian, which is the sangang, or third eye, right? Which is the crown chakra, basically. And the purpose of doing what they call in Tai Chi the grand circulation is you move that chi up the spine and over the head and then down the front and then up through past the perineum and then back around, and that becomes the grand circulation, right? It's the same concept as what the yoga people are calling kundalini, or serpentine energy, and rising that energy up their spine. It's the same concept. They just break it down into 7 parts, where the Chinese breaks it down into 3. And they just kind of, I'm reminded of a saying that the map is not the territory. They're different maps for the same territory, and they look a little different, but they're outlining the same path and the same destination.
See, I'm very interested in that because I was looking into like the chakras and stuff, and it's weird that like the Indians knew that like you had to eat certain foods to cure this chakra, and you had to meditate a certain way and do certain workouts. And then thousands of years later, when modern medicine hit, they're like, wait, they're right. Like, how did they know that back then without...
That's a whole nother podcast talk, because that'll be an hour and a half or 2 by itself.
Let's do that next time.
That brings the question of, was there humanity before when we think there was humanity?
We were talking about that before you came on. We were talking about how with the pyramids and stuff, they found that there's electricity in them, and they had our current technology in the fucking pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
So they wiped themselves out because they got too technologically advanced, which is happening now.
I will leave you with this thought and a suggestion. There's a show on Netflix called Ancient Apocalypse with Graham Hancock. If you haven't watched it, I think it's 6 episodes, maybe 8. Graham is a researcher he was on Ancient Aliens in the early seasons, but he's a researcher of sorts. He's very involved in this kind of Göbekli Tepe discovery that they found in I want to say Turkey. That's in, I think, or maybe Syria. Somewhere, maybe it's Lebanon. I don't know, Middle East, somewhere that I forget. What he points out is that there's all of this evidence pointing to the Younger Dryas period, 11,600 years ago, that there was a cataclysm of some sort that happened on Earth. And his show, Ancient Apocalypse, is kind of pointing to the fact that there seems to be a lot of evidence mounting that there was a civilization before that catastrophe. And that would account for the flood myths that occur in the Bible and other traditions around the world, right? If the ice caps melted, all of a sudden sea levels rose, everything would flood and eventually would start to revert back and land would become available again and humanity would have to start over from scratch, more or less. What's interesting about that too is that if you want to take like, well, the flood's just biblical and stuff and it's just a story, but now I'm not saying that the Bible necessarily is or isn't true either. But I would point out that in the Old Testament, there are passages that refer to the people before the flood. And if you think even about the stories in the Old Testament, there was a flood because the humanity had fucked up, right? They had gotten to a place of decadence and sin, and God decided to wipe them out according to that tradition, right? Even in that story, humanity existed before.
Yep.
So what's that story? And that's what I think we're starting to uncover now.
We need an ancient testament.
Well, and the real question is this: is there one already that's out there somewhere that the powers that be have that that we don't have access to because they don't want us to know about that shit? They want us to believe that it is a certain way because if we knew there was more history, it would rewrite the way that our world looks to us and the way that the power structures are set up.
There's ancient scrolls that they found that didn't make it to the Bible that mentions aliens and shit too.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about this next time.
There's a book called The Other Bible you can order off Amazon, and it is a collection of all the Nag Hammadi and Dead Sea Scrolls, all of the Jewish Apocrypha, all of the stuff that you're talking about that has these kind of references to extraterrestrials and just other versions of the stories. And I don't put that out there to credit or value or devalue anybody's faith. I think faith is a different thing.
Well, what's wild is it was translated weird too, because if you translate the Bible from any religion, any other like language, that verse that says man shall not lay with other man as he would womankind, it actually says you shall not lay with child. When the Catholic Church translated it, they translated it to be anti-homophobia, anti-homosexual instead of anti-pedophilia.
And thou shalt not kill can be better translated as thou shalt not murder.
Yeah.
So that is that's like one of the most minute differentiations to me, right? Between murder and killing. It's still significant, but then what you're talking about is an even bigger digression from what the intent was, from what the original purpose was, right?
Yeah.
So they're saying they get turned into one of my other favorite ones. This is my friend Tim Hogan. Lectures about this stuff all the time, and he says that in the Greek, the word for resurrection in the Greek is anastasis. And he says that the more proper and appropriate translation of that word is not resurrection, but is awakening, suggesting that the anastasis of Jesus is actually a consciousness awakening as opposed to a physical resurrection of the body. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying it's food for thought. And there's a lot of material out there that points to the idea that might actually be what's going on here. So
that is wild, dude. Like, I love talking about this shit. So let's talk about that next time. I know you got to get with your
now I gotta go eat, and I'm gonna pee my pants now. I drank that whole Mountain Dew.
Well, hit me up for a part 2.
I will be in touch. I'm going to to Belgium in July for a month, but before that, I can probably swing in, getting in here for a bit, and going down some rabbit holes with you guys.
You're always welcome
Sounds
on the
good.
show, dude.
Appreciate it.
No problem, brother. Much love. And
Same to you.
To leave the studio, you can just X out if you want. Me and her's going to chat for a little bit, and then
I got it. I see it.
much love, man.
Same to
Thank
you
you for doing this, and I
thank
hope to
you.
see you soon.
Yeah, blessings to you both. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Take care. I love that dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a very interesting person.
Thank you for joining, Carrie. I'm sorry, dear, that I didn't get to see you. We were in the middle of a rabbit hole. And hi, Larissa. How you doing, darling? We just had Aaron Nordstrom of Gemini Syndrome, and we are going to bring him back on because he seemed to have a good time. But we're actually going to get off of here because we're going at the 2-hour mark, which I don't mind. We can go for 3 if we wanted. But I'm going to go ahead and fly. I love you all. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Aaron, for being a part of this. Thank you, Pink.
No problem.
And see you all